Focus. Focus, asshole. There we go. What up, you nerdy motherfuckers? It's your boy. It's me, Tard Kent. I am the man of Steelbook. Scream Factory recently announced their October releases. Scream Factory releases horror shit every month of the year, of course, so that's their brand, right? But in my mind, to me personally, in my heart, speaking my truth, October should be like the month for Scream Factory to knock your fucking socks off. Halloween season should be their proudest moment of the year, as it's the time of year that we horror fans most look forward to. There are, of course, good horror films set in other periods of time. There are many summertime horror films, camp horror films. There are a lot of horror films set around Christmas time nowadays. There's really horror for the whole year, but that Halloween time, that October month, that's when we all get hard. That's when we all get horning for that good Halloween shit to put us in the move. So I feel like this is the time for Scream Factory to step it the fuck up. Will this slate of October announcements live up to the discerning expectations of us horror movie fans, of you, of me? Probably not me. They're probably not going to live up to, spoiler alert, they're probably not going to live up to my expectations. But hey, we'll see how we feel in the next 20 to 30 minutes. The real question is this: will I violently assault you for calling it spoopy season? That answer is fuck yes. Fuck yes, I will. Don't call it spoopy season. This is a PSA. So let's start with one that I'm moderately excited about, I guess. I don't know, excited is a strong word. But very moderately excited. As Above, So Below is getting another Blu-ray release. This is the first time Scream Factory has taken a crack at it, but it's been on Blu-ray before. It's been on Blu-ray for a long time. So, are you gonna make a mad dash to the Bull Moose, get outside the door and be there when they open? I'm not. I'm sleeping in that day because I'm probably gonna be hung the fuck over, possibly even still whacked out of my brain. I feel like this is a film that lived on streaming for a long time. I feel like there was a decade where this was just every time I turned on Netflix. I think that's actually where I saw it. I think my wife and I watched it on Netflix some time back, probably, mid 20 teens, right? 2016, 2017, somewhere in there. This is a pretty small budget by today's standards found footage horror film that came out at a time when it really feels like everything just like went to Netflix. Like there was a lot of shit that just cropped up on Netflix that I'd never seen before, that I never heard of. Netflix had their fair share of theatrical releases that were later then put into Netflix, that were distributed on Netflix, but it felt like there was a ton of shit that you never heard of, that you never saw in the theaters, that just kind of, it was just there on Netflix one day. And I feel like that was my experience with As Above, So Below. And I think my wife and I were just, we're in the mood for a horror film that night. We decided, why the heck not? This movie is fine. I mean, this movie is fine for a found footage film. It's fine. Uh, Found footage films, they're not always the best. They get a little bit of flack today because I think they've been well overdone. This one's not a terrible entry in that particular subgenre. It has a fairly satisfying ending. It's got demons and shit. I think that's cool. I think the Catacombs was a pretty cool location for a horror film. I've always loved the idea of like horror that's so adjacent to normal life. The Catacombs are like right below Paris. There are people up there having like a romantic time on the Eiffel Tower, and just, a couple of dozen feet below, maybe a couple of 100 feet below, depending on where you are in the Eiffel Tower, there's people having the most horrific experience of their life, while I don't know, Scarlett Johansson's fucking smooching somebody in a Woody Allen movie right above. So I like the idea of this like horror happening adjacent to everything else, and it's just like right there below the surface, waiting for people to stumble into. I will say, as above, so below. Could have used a little bit more of the booba. Like a little bit more of that would have been okay. But look, it's still fine. It's a fine movie. It's worth watching. As I said before, this one's been out on Blu-ray for a long time. Universal Studios put this one out. They distributed this one on Blu-ray for years. For years, they've made this widely available on Blu-ray. Chances are that every third Goodwill has 4 copies on Blu-ray for $3. So what Scream Factory has to do is come to me with a really good reason why I shouldn't buy this on Blu-ray for $3 at a Goodwill or a Salvation Army. Why should I not get that version? And it's really going to come down to the special features, which is this is the bad part about this disc. This is the bad news I'm bringing you right here. It's kind of a missed opportunity. There's really not much for bonus features. So, why would you pay $23 to Shout Factory or whatever this is? It's probably in the low to mid 20s. Why would you pay $23 for this when you could probably get a used copy for 5 or 6 or something like that? And they're gonna have to impress me with the transfer, like this is a brand new transfer and it's better than the other Blu-rays that have been released, or more special features, and they don't have them. They're not bringing the special features here. There's no commentaries on this disc, which again is a missed opportunity for fans of this movie. It's been out for a long time. I think it came out in 2014, 2013, something like that. So a movie that's been out for 10 years, that's been available on Blu-ray for pretty much the whole 10 years, that fans of this film probably already own. So you're asking people to double dip on a motherfucker. And you're not even offering them the new 4K format. What you're doing is you're saying, I know there's a Blu-ray out there that you could get for $3 at a Goodwill, $4 at a garage sale, or $5 from a used on Amazon. But I want you to spend $23 to buy it from me on the same motherfucking format with no extra bonus features. I think Scream Factory is like, it's kind of asking a lot. If they had additional bonus features that the fans had never seen before, then somebody who's a big fan of this movie will double dip because they want those special features. They want to hear the director's commentary. It doesn't exist. It's not on the disc. Don't get your hopes up. This feels very much like a retread to me. It's a decent movie. I will watch this movie again. I've only seen it that once. I'll watch it again, but it's not knocking my socks off as a Halloween film. And also, this particular presentation is not really adding very much to the discourse. What's already out there, I don't find it too compelling. Death Becomes Her is getting a 4K re-release, an inevitable 4K re-release. We're back on that business. Scream Factory released Death Becomes Her on Blu-ray in 2016, I believe. That's what my notes compiled by my assistant are saying. 2016 question mark. Okay. So this is the inevitable 4K upgrade, as I mentioned. Every time someone says 8K is not going to happen, somebody on the internet says, no way, they're never going to do 8K. I like to think that they're right. I want to agree with that person. I want to feel like 4K is the terminal format and that it's not ever going to progress further than 4K. Like we have reached the zenith and I can just happily collect movies in 4K and I never have to worry about any additional formats to follow. However, then I think about the sheer preponderance of 4K churn responsible for 90% of Scream Factory releases. And I think when they inevitably run out of movies that they can upgrade to 4K, Shout is going to need 8K to be a thing just so they can keep selling us shit, right? Like manufacturers of films are going to need to make 8K a thing at some point in time just to get us to keep buying shit, whether it be new TVs or new players or new discs for those players. But there's a cynical part of me that thinks we're going to get sold 8K just because they want to sell us fucking Indiana Jones trilogy over again. And I refuse to acknowledge part 4 and 5. It's still the Indiana Jones trilogy. I'm still living in like 2001 when them shits got released on DVD, or 2003, whenever them shits got released on DVD, and I bought the Indiana Jones trilogy, motherfuckers, because there was only 3 and only ever going to be 3 pieces of shit. this movie, Death Becomes Her, I should clarify, not Indiana Jones. Death Becomes Her is an early 90s Robert Zemeckis film. He is the dude who made Back to the Future and Forrest Gump, as you guys know. And I will say, as overrated and overhyped as Forrest Gump is, Death Becomes Her is kind of the opposite. It's weird that Robert Zemeckis can be so well known for huge fucking movies like Back to the Future trilogy, Forrest Gump, to a little bit lesser degree, Castaway. This guy's made some huge films with, just huge actors like Tom Hanks. And Death Becomes Her is just kind of like, oh yeah, that's a movie, right? I saw that in 1993. That's fucking crazy. I might not have seen this movie since the 90s. I'll be honest with you. It's been a long time since I've seen Death Becomes Her. It might have been the 90s. I definitely think it's worth checking out for sure. I will say that this 4K release, this 4K upgrade, contains no additional special features when you compare it to the 2016 Shout Blu-ray. Excuse me, Scream Factory Blu-ray. I'm going to just use those terms interchangeably right now, guys. I'm doing a lot of drugs today, and I don't know about you, but my brain kind of turns to mush. They have an old making of featurette, a new making of featurette, and a slipcover with some nice cleavage. I will say the slipcover does work for me. I like it. I like the slipcover. I would hang that poster up in my room right above my bed. I could put it in the rotation. Anyway, if you're like me, you skipped the Blu-ray back in 2016 because you weren't buying Blu-rays in 2016. So this might be a worthwhile purchase for some of us. But if I did have the Blu-ray, I'm not sure I would feel very compelled to upgrade to this 4K unless it was one of my very favorite movies, like on the short list. Drag Me to Hell is also getting its inevitable 4K upgrade. Just like with Death Becomes Her, Control C, then Control V, that shit I just said a moment ago. It was released on Blu-ray by Scream in 2018. This time, Drag Me to Hell, 2018. Bonus features have not yet been revealed by Scream Factory, but I'm not holding my breath for anything new because they're not putting anything new on their other re-releases, right? Everything I've talked about has no new bonus features compared to what's already been put out there in the world. Here's my hot take of the week. If my hot take about Forrest Gump being overrated, that's not really a hot take. That's kind of a lukewarm, room temperature take. My hot take of the week is that Drag Me to Hell, the film, is vastly overrated. Vastly overrated. Like Grand Canyon, full of overratedness. Sam Raimi is quoted as saying that he wanted to tell the story of a person who wants to be a good person, who makes a sinful choice out of greed for their own benefit and pays the price for it. I'm quoting him there, air quotes. So my problem with this movie is mostly the narrative. I don't really see it that way. I don't see it the way that Sam Raimi presented it there. I think the main character, Broad Christine, she was just doing her job, right? It's her job. She didn't make a sinful decision. She's near the bottom of this corporate hierarchy. She's not even able to make important policy decisions for the bank. She's a tool of the bourgeoisie that the corporate fat cats use to exploit and oppress the proletariat, like the old curse lady. It made no sense to me that the old woman would curse this poor young girl who is a lowly representative, who happens to be in the unfortunate position that she has to enforce some corporate policy that wasn't her invention in the first place. It's the ultimate Karen move. This old curse lady is the ultimate Karen. It's like yelling at the cashier because the grocery store doesn't sell beer on Sunday or some shit. The grocery store cashier has nothing to do with that fucking decision. That was made up by fucking corporate based on some weird kind of fucking Bible Belt law. What are you fucking cursing that cashier to die for because she won't sell you beer? It's fucking stupid. The inciting incident of Drag Me to Hell is a reminder of how effective corporations can be at insulating the real decision policymakers with layers of this middle managers and regional VPs and branch managers, so that when you're a customer like the old curse lady and you're experiencing some difficulty with a giant company, think of all the giant companies that you might deal with and have difficulty with in a given year, like Amazon or something like that. You're trying to sort out some shit with customer service rep, and he's from Bangladesh. John from Bangladesh can't fucking help you. He doesn't make the policy. His boss doesn't make the policy. You're never going to be able to reach the person who does make the policy. Do you think the owners of the bank that Christine, the main character from Drag Me to Hell, worked for, do you think they want to talk to some old ass gypsy woman about her third mortgage extension? Absolutely fucking not. Rich banker doesn't want to have to deal with the poor people. So he hires a wage slave like Christine here to interact with the poors, whose money the rich banker nonetheless deigns to accept. He needs their money, but he doesn't want to actually have to deal with them. He's the rich guy at the top of the hierarchy. He hires Christine. Christine can be the one who insulates him from the fucking hexes and the curses and the getting dragged to hell. The idea that Christine has to make a decision that gets her dragged to hell by a fucking demon. Meanwhile, the fucking guy at the top, the fucking board of investors and the Fed and everybody else, they're just fucking counting the fucking cash. They're just fucking counting the cash. They're fucking getting in their Jaguars. They're getting blowjobs from their mistresses, and they don't have to suffer some fucking curse for the decisions that they made that affect the old gypsy woman. It never sat well with me. The old gypsy lady has this fantastic ability to hold people accountable, and she uses it on someone of no consequence who has done no significant wrong. I mean, if you're going to open up hell and set demons upon some cute young white girl when there's a whole world of rapists and child molesters and murderers and human traffickers, vicious pimps, real actual human scum, and the fucking blonde girl that couldn't give you your third mortgage extension, she's the one that gets dragged to hell by fucking demons. Meanwhile, it's fucking LA. Someone is getting raped, murdered, and pimped simultaneously while all of this shit is ongoing. And you're not gonna fucking send a demon after that motherfucker? You're gonna send it after the fucking white girl who's got student loans to fucking pay off. Get the fuck out. Get right the fuck out of here with this stupid fucking movie. I'm never buying this fucking movie. This fucking movie's bullshit. Set some demons on those fucking law-breaking motherfuckers, some felonious motherfuckers. Put the demons on the felonious motherfuckers, then I'll buy the fucking Demon Drag Me to Hell movie because I get to see fucking rapists and child murderers get fucking drugged to hell and shit. This film doesn't even bother to explain why the fucking gypsy lady needs a third extension on her overdue mortgage anyway. Why not explain that shit? It's not like she didn't get 2 extensions already. What the fuck does she want? She just want a free fucking house? How about you just have the house for free? We'll just tear up this fucking mortgage paperwork, put it through the shredder, and there you go, lady. You got the fucking house for free. How about sick the gypsies on the, or sick the fucking demons on the fucking mortgage, huh? How about turn those demons out and tell them to get some fucking jobs? Get the fuck out there and bring in some cash, demons. Get out there and fucking go work at a 7-Eleven or go sell some fucking weed or something like that. Tell them demons to bring back some fucking cash. What good is gypsy magic if you can't pay your goddamn mortgage? Fantastic. You can summon demons to do your bidding. Do you have any other monetizable skills that could help you earn some money to pay your mortgage? Can you maybe make sculptures out of human teeth to sell on Etsy? Maybe you could make lampshades out of demon scrotums to sell at the local flea market. I don't know. But figure something out so you can pay your fucking mortgage before you have to set a demon on the white girl that won't give you your 18th fucking extension. The demon curse really ought to be a fourth quarter Hail Mary option. That the demon curse is the thing you do when you got 2 minutes left on the clock and you got to make up some fucking points. But what are the other plays this gypsy lady could make prior to the actual day that the bank takes her fucking home? The shit fucked with me the very first time I saw this movie, and it really kind of made the whole rest of the film feel like bullshit to me. It's getting me kind of fired up right now. I don't even want to talk about the rest of the bullshit Scream is putting off right now in fucking October. I don't even want to talk about it. I just want to fucking yell about Drag Me to Hell some more and how dumbass this movie is and how dumbass everybody is that fucking buys this shit. You expect me to buy this horse shit? So anyway, that's why I think this film is big overrated. If you disagree, I mean, let me know down below. I will pretend to respect your opinion in public, but you're going to be vastly wrong. You just heard the argument I laid out. It's fucking ironclad. It's not, fuck. This video is going way too long. Devil is getting its inevitable 4K upgrade as well. What do you know? It's a surprise. Pick your jaw up off the floor. This is a film that actually was not previously released on Blu-ray by Scream Factory. So, I mean, decent get for them. It's a new release for them. No one else has put it out on 4K, so they kind of have the monopoly on that now. This is what they should have done with As Above, So Below. I never saw Devil, so I'm not gonna yell and rant about it. I can't believe it came out in 2010. I thought this was a more recent movie than that. The idea that Devil is already almost 15 years old is really kind of weird to me. I feel like it came out in 2016. I don't know why they're trying to tell me it came out in 2010. I also have a question for anybody that might still be watching this fucking video after I just burst a blood vessel in my. Can you see it? Can you see the blood vessel? I burst. It's the whole thing's pink now. Um, and that's not from eating ass. That's from yelling just now. So is the whole movie Devil? Is it just some fuckers in an elevator the whole movie? The whole movie is just the elevator? Surely there's some flashbacks and shit that are set like outside of the elevator, like before they got in the elevator. But damn, the idea of a whole ass movie just parked in an elevator, written by M. Night Shyamalan, no less, it just doesn't appeal to me. But 4Ks are cool. I like 4Ks. Shocker is getting its inevitable 4K upgrade. You're going to shit your pants in disbelief when I say this. But Scream released Shocker on Blu ray in 2015, and now it's coming to 4K. It's a shocker, I know. I'm so glad I got to make that pun. I'm going to kill myself tonight. Uh, it's a Wes Craven movie from the 1980s that I don't yet own, so it checks the boxes. This is the one release from Scream Factory that checks the boxes. So I'm probably going to buy this one. I'll watch this one. Why not? It sounds kooky and weird and kind of fun and maybe a little insane. And 1989 was a good year. So I'll get this one. No argument here. If you don't buy it too, you're a sucker. The Wolfman. The Wolfman is getting its inevitable 4K upgrade. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? I do believe it because that's pretty much what Scream Factory does. It is new to Scream Factory, though. I will say that. I saw this movie for the first time only very recently. I think this is another film that came out in like, I don't know, something, right? Like 08, 09, maybe 2010. I don't know, but it's another film that's like, unlike The Devil, which Devil feels like it came out 8 years ago, but it's 15 years old. This movie feels like it came out like 45 years ago, but it's like, what? 2017 or whatever. I don't know what they're gonna say to me, but I did see this movie for the first time only recently. It's been out for, I don't know, it was out for like at least 10 years, 15 years. And then I finally saw it recently. I think it was like 2023. I finally saw this movie. And let me tell you, it's a piece of shit. This movie is a fucking piece of shit, right? Like, I got a lot of complaints about Drag Me to Hell. I'm not going to go into it with The Wolfman because I don't feel that passionate about it. It's just a shitty movie that's not really worth watching. Talk about waste of talent. Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt, Anthony the fuck Hopkins. That man is a legend. What the fuck was he doing in this movie? I'll tell you what he was doing in this movie. Collecting a paycheck. This was a piece of shit. What in the actual fuck went on in this movie? Was this the dumbest thing I've seen in 2023? Yes, it is. It's just bad. It's just bad, but not in a good way that I might enjoy, like Shocker. Shocker's probably going to be bad, but in like a good way. Like, it's cheesy, it's tongue in cheek, it's kind of stupid, but this is just. The Wolfman on 4K is definitely $32 that I will keep in my cocaine budget and not move to my 4K budget at all. Land of the Dead is getting its inevitable 4K upgrade. I feel like I'm saying that a lot in this video. George Romero movie. It's when he decided to make his trilogy a foragy. I don't know. I don't like the word quadrilogy. I wish people would stop saying it. I wish people would stop using it. I didn't even really feel, I feel kind of grimy just saying it right now. I know quad is four, right? Tetralogy, I've seen people do tetralogy too. I like that one better than quadrilogy, but only very slightly. Let's just, can we just, let's figure out a word. Like, it's four movies. It's a fourth film. It was for the longest time, it was a trilogy. We recognized Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead as a trilogy of films, but then Land of the Dead was kind of tacked on. I remember seeing this one in the theaters. It's got John Leguizamo. It's, you know, it's fine. I don't think it's quite as good as his previous works that were more, I think, foundational for the genre as we know it today. But at the time that Land of the Dead got produced, the zombie films were experiencing a big resurgence. I think Dawn of the Dead had just had its Zack Snyder remake, and 28 Days Later had been a big success. My man's Cillian Murphy was in that, and that kind of launched him out into the public sphere a little bit. Like that really got us kind of viewing him for the first time. And so I think, you know, it was that early to mid 2000s. It was right around the time, maybe a year or two before The Walking Dead got greenlit. So The Walking Dead kind of came out hot on the heels. So there was that, like, if you start around like the year 2001, zombies became real popular. They did that World War Z. It was a book first. It was actually the Zombie Survival Guide that then he went back and did like a narrative, like a novel form, and that was World War Z. So anyway, there was like this period of time where zombies were actually quite popular. Zombie films were quite popular. People were rediscovering the old stuff, even like the Lucio Fulci zombie movie and other films that maybe people weren't as aware of. You know, like 90s kids, millennials weren't as aware of these films. They were like being rediscovered thanks to the format of DVD, and that movies were now very accessible, and Best Buy was selling them left and right. And so, you know, it was a good time to be a zombie fan. And I think Land of the Dead was met with some excitement because George Romero is often viewed as the guy. He's like the guy. That's his genre. He's like the godfather of the genre. I don't think Land of the Dead was fantastic. I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad. And, you know, it was interesting to look at what that sort of post-zombie dystopia would look like after the apocalypse had kind of blown over and the world was sort of getting used to being a zombie-filled hellhole. It offered a little bit of a different view of what kind of Walking Dead wound up showing us was how survivors might band together and recreate some form of society, and how that form of society might be warped and twisted, and allowed for some, I guess, social commentary on that. So, look, Land of the Dead, if you got Night of the Living Dead on 4K. Criterion put that out. If you've got Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, I think those are available. You might have to import one of them motherfuckers, but you know, they're available, they're out there. You might want this one to complete your collection. Or you just might be like me and you don't give a shit. Your throat is sore because you just yelled about Drag Me to Hell for 15 minutes. Anyway, nobody should wonder why I call Scream Factory Re-Release Factory. It's not a very creative name. I'll keep working on that. Maybe, you know, shoot me a message if you got something better. But they're the re-release factory. That's what it is. They're the 4K factory. They're just churning them out. This particular October slate really doesn't feel like anything special. I mean, they're all horror films, so they're all appropriate for the month of October. However, that's what Scream Factory does. I mean, in February, they put out horror movies. Like fucking April, it's Easter month. They're putting out horror movies. And the fact is, that is what Scream Factory does, and I expect them to treat October like it's fucking Christmas and New Year's and Hanukkah and Rosh Hashanah and just any fucking religious holiday you can think of rolled into one. What's the fucking Ramadan? That's the one. Except we're eating on Ramadan. We're not fasting. I just, you know, I want to talk more shit, but that Drag Me to Hell rant really sent me way over on time. I mean, fucking half hour again. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, guys. Thanks for making it this far. If you made it this far and you're hearing my words, DM me and I'll send you some money out of my wallet or something like that. I mean, I'll do something nice for you if you made it to 31 fucking minutes of this video. Holy shit. But I will say that for a boutique Blu-ray house that specializes in horror films, this is an excellent slate of October releases if You like your dicks limp. I don't. So soft again. Motherfuckers.